right, everyone. It's been a long time coming with this video. This is your boy Savar Matner, and this is a good one. This is my overreaching training video. It was programming to my training block to end my training block before I went on my deload. Uh, it was the exercise that came after my last exercise that I filmed back on May the 25th. It was my deadlifting session. And full disclosure, I already have started the filming this week. I'm back at it with compound lifts. Tomorrow is a deadlifting session, so I will be recording that. And then after all of that, I'll be uploading this next week after the holidays on this particular channel, because you're going to see this before the 4th of July. I won't be doing anything during that week, so this will be the videos that I am mentioning will be uploaded next week. But this was one that I filmed the beginning of June. It was the beginning of my deloading, and it was an overreaching week because mainly in my deloading, all I did was cardio. I went to the gym a couple of times, but nothing worth recording. It was just mainly me just going through the motions with lightweight and keeping myself active. Now, while on vacation, traveling to Texas and the other states that I was in, North Carolina, Arkansas, all those states that I went through, ate a lot of junk food on the road. I ended up gaining about 5, maybe 6 or 7 pounds of water weight and fat because I was eating virtually everything on the road. But I did take time to exercise. I just didn't sit around and not do anything. So it kind of put my cut, it kind of set it back. So I have been hitting the ground running. I had upped my cardio when I got back home. And so I ended up already shedding away 4 pounds, so mainly water weight. I'm still holding on to about 3 pounds of fat at least, mainly around the face. That's going to be the last place to go. And I got some here on the folds. You guys can't probably see, but, right through here. But fat normally is housed at. So with that being said, I have picked back up training for force. So with that being said, though, let's go over this video here because I have a couple other videos I want to get to. I don't want to be all day because I got things that I have to do and I want to get this knocked out. So let's get right into it. Once again, nothing too crazy doing this training session. I'm mainly working out with lightweight. I think it's 50 pounds on the decline bench. Now the decline bench really target the mid and lower pecs. I'm trying to get that fullness down there. If you notice, I'm taking my time squeezing the weight. Notice the height. Notice where I'm sitting. I'm not sitting low. A lot of people make the mistake. They don't go in there and they don't adjust the machines. If I was sitting low, I have more shoulder induction, right? Internally rotated, right? So I'll be sitting more like this here. Yes, it might target the clavicular head some, okay? But it's going to put more emphasis on the front delts, which already get a lot of work and stimulation just from doing any pressing movement like this, right? But it could impinge my shoulder, right? Especially these assertion points right here. It could impinge the shoulder. You got your socket, which runs right through here, right? It could do some serious damage to the rotator cuff and things like that. So you don't want to be pressing like this here too much with heavy weight. Okay, you can get away with that like a guillotine press with lightweight, but doing heavy weight, you want to bring the shoulder down, elbows down, somewhere around 45-degree angle. Anything closer than that, you're going to put more tricep in. Maybe a little more of the center part of the pec may get some work. But if you really want to get a full chest exercise, you widen your elbows out like I got and push, right? Matter of fact, let me lower the camera down so you guys can see what I'm getting at. If I got my elbows up here and I'm pressing out, you're not seeing much adduction. Let me make the screen a little bit bigger so you guys can see. So up, you don't see too much that abduction, right? The pecs contracted, right? Adducting coming back. Muscles coming back this way, right? Now, when I bring them down, watch the pecs activate more. See that? They activate a little bit more. Up here, you don't see it, right? When I bring it down and I push in, you see that? It's a lot more contraction, right? And if I go even lower, you'll see it more in the middle here. Now, of course, I got fat over the muscle, so that's why it looks like that. But once again, up high, you really don't see how the muscles contract, right? When you adduct, you're bringing the arms in, you adduct, right? You're contracting the muscle. You don't see that too much. When I come down and I come in, now you can really see that muscle see those fibers take off. So that's why you want to make sure you are adjusting the seats. That's why I had the height the way that I have. So try that, try to adjust that and see how it works for you. Once again, doing another set. Notice I'm going nice and slow. I'm controlling the eccentric, being as explosive as I can on the concentric, and just taking my time. I'm putting my mind in the muscle. Now, some of you, you're not going to understand the mind muscle until you build some muscle, right? It's active tissue. Now, this is what I like about using machines. I'm targeting my right side. This pec, especially through here, is a little bit more lower than this pec here. You can clearly see that on camera. So, and a lot of it could be from genetics, but you can clearly see that, right? How that pec right here is lower. If I turn around in this pec here, you can clearly see the difference. So me working on the right side, I'm trying to bring up that pec. So doing, you know, the single arm that I was just doing, you see those fibers activate. Now look at when I go wide. You really don't see that. The moment I bring my elbows down and come in, follow the fibers, you can clearly see how they activate a lot more. Once again, high up, you don't see that, right? A little bit, you come down, look at that activation. So adjusting the machines is going to help you in this, right? So that's why I'm going one arm at a time. I'm trying to really work that right pec. It's a little bit lower than the left pec. A lot of guys do because I'm right hand dominant, and I, you know, just not really putting the emphasis on the right pec. Plus, I was doing a lot of heavy lifting, so the muscles wasn't getting fatigued enough as the neurological system, the nervous system was. So now I love doing these flies right here because when you put your arms like this, right, it really takes the momentum. A lot of time when people do flies, they hold like this here, right? And I'm gonna show you the difference in that too. So when you put your elbows up like this here, excuse the hairy armpits, I'm gonna shave this week, right? You really put more emphasis on the chest, right? When you have your arms out, if you don't angle them just right, you can still put some emphasis on the chest, but it's a lot more when you put your elbows like this here, arms like this here. Now the chest have to do so much more work, okay? And that's just all by mechanics. If I'm like this here, right, and I'm coming in, yes, the muscles are contracting, right? But once again, look at the arms, they're straight. Even if I come down low and try, right, there is some more contraction. That's why I want to tell you guys to adjust the bench. Don't have the fly machine up high like this here on a cable machine. Dumbbells, you can kind of get away with that. It's going to require the muscles to activate more, especially stabilizers, right? But when you have cable machines, you want to adjust the seat to where you can bring your elbows down some to contract that chest. When you put your arms like this here, when you kind of rotate your arms, you take a lot of momentum out of the arms and of the front delts, excuse me, and a lot of stabilizers, right? And so the chest now have to work a lot harder to contract and bring your arms across, because the primary function of the chest is to bring your arm across, right? Like abduct, right? To press, right? That's the functions of the arm. I mean, of the chest. You can see how the fibers work. See there? So any pressing movement, any abducting movement, abduct away from midline, adduct. So flies. Any press, so eccentric loading and contractual loading, the chest is going to function. It's just how you target that muscle. So I love doing pec flies like this. To me, I get a better connection with my chest, and you can't really go as heavy as you can doing it this way. So it really taxes the muscle fibers. You can see how my muscles are just full of blood. Now, full disclosure, I haven't been on creatine since June 1st. And so it's been over a month since I've been off creatine. I probably won't go back on it until August. I normally give my body a 2-month break from creatine. And then I go on for like 4 or 5 months. Then I'll take 2 months off. Just get a body breaks. And, you know, when I get back on, it's like the body just responds a bit better each time I do that. So I look a lot fuller in these videos than I do now because I don't have all that excess water, and, you know, to fill out the muscle stores. So I look a little bit flat, and I'm okay with that. But once I go back on creatine, I'll get back big like this because creatine draw in water. It will make you thirsty. It will make you want to drink more. And notice I'm going all the way to failure. I'm taking my time, really trying to push the pec. You probably notice on a couple of exercises, I was going down, staying in the eccentric phase, coming up, then back down, then back across. Really working the eccentric part of the movement. So then we did some rows, working on the lats, right? And if you notice, I'm letting myself go forward, and then I'm contracting back as hard as I can and slowing down the eccentric, which is going forward. It really put a load on the lats. A lot of people just hold the weights, right? And notice I'm not going that heavy. I'm using the weight. I got like 115 pounds. I'm using the weight that I know I can control, a weight that's going to target the muscle groups that I'm trying to target without making a lot of stabilizers take over to take some of the emphasis off the muscle. I'm basically using weight that I know I can do some repetitions. You have to work the muscle. If you're trying to build muscle, you have to work the muscle. Okay, now I know I don't have some of the biggest arms, right? Actually, my arms are depleted because I did some curls the other day. So those muscles, those sugar stores are a little bit low in these arms, but they're coming back. But take your time now. I'm doing one-handed rows. That's to isolate the lats individually. That's to help with muscle imbalances. So I'm going to do the left side more than the right because the left side is lagging more than the right. And once again, drop the weight. Ego lifting is not the way. I'm not saying that going heavy for a single rep here or there every now and then isn't impressive. But if your form is terrible, the ego lifting is out of the question. So then we go over to the lat pull down machines, and those is isometric, so it's individual handles. So you know the muscles have to work independently of their own instead of being one cable machine with one connective bar, like a normal lat pull down bar. So I love this version of it because I can isolate the lats more. And even though I don't have to do the weak arm by itself, I still do. I just want to give that arm some more repetition. So a lot of times what you'll see me do, I do a couple of sets with both arms, and then I let my right side, which is my dominant side, rest, and then I'll let the left side get a few more reps. And back to the mind muscle connection, back to what I was saying earlier. When you don't have enough muscle, because fat is not an active tissue, muscle is an active tissue. What ends up happening is you don't feel what we might be telling you guys to do because the connection isn't there. As you build active tissue, the nerves, right, that connect to the primary nerves that come from the spine, you will begin to control that muscle better. You'll feel it better. Like right now, I'm watching the lats, right? This exercise, and I feel my lats just watching exercise. And while I was doing the chest flies, I was feeling my pecs because I could put my mind in that area while watching. Now my back, I'm doing, face pulls. And I'm going to explain more of that in a second. But when you develop active tissue, you'll just have more control over the area. You can put yourself in that area and you'll feel that muscle is what I'm getting at. When you don't have enough muscle developed, or if you're fat, you're not going to have that same sensation that I'm talking about. I can just think about my biceps and feel my biceps. I can think about my triceps and I can feel my triceps, even when they're in a relaxed state. That's because I have a lot of muscle on me and it's active tissue. That means the nervous system is more active in those areas because it's an active tissue. So when you first start to train, if you never trained before and you don't have a lot of muscle on your frame as it is, you're not going to get that same sensation. But as you begin to build muscle, you'll begin to understand, hey, slow that muscle down and contract that muscle. Right now, just doing that, contracting the chest. I can sit here and just contract without having to bring my arms around. I can sit here and just not really flex that hard, and I can feel my biceps. They're depleted because I did some curls, right? But flex and pause and squeeze that muscle. You can feel it more. Same my legs, same with any muscle group on your body. So when we tell you to slow down and wait, take your time, is to build healthy habits. So when you start to actually grow that muscle tissue, it'll become second nature. You practice perfect form and technique in order to practice perfect. It's not practice make perfect. It's practicing perfect form, perfect technique, that makes a perfect practice. And those are cues that will help you grow the most muscle. So now I'm doing face pulls, Jeff Cavalier face pulls. Now I'm using 2 cables without the ends. I just get a better contraction that way. Now the camera's angled up, so it's going to look weird. But basically, you get the cable eye height, very low weight, and you just pull like this here. It looks different. Sometimes I pull and I will extend out, try to flex my arms out to get more of a rear delt squeeze or more of the rhomboids, the teres minor, teres major, spinatus muscle, suspinatus muscle, all these muscles of the upper back shift through here. So you can't see I'm sitting in the chair, but eye level, pull back, ease it down, pull back, and a lot of times you might see me even extend, trying to pull the wires as far across as I can. And I do get a very nice pump in the upper back. So if you never did face pulls before, my recommendations, give them a try. Very lightweight, I think just 7 pounds. The most I did was like 12 pounds. And like I say, I'm taking my time. I'm keeping a certain tempo. It may not look like that I'm squeezing the muscle as I'm doing it, but I am. Like right there holding. And man, it really target the upper back in ways that doing certain movements just doesn't. Single overhead tricep extension, but you know the upper back acts as a stabilizer. And why is that? Well, look at the tricep. Look, the tricep exerts here near the rear delt. The rear delt, you follow the rear delt, it runs back where your teres minor, teres major muscles, you know, all those muscles intertwine and meet back here. So when you're doing movements like this here, the upper back's a stabilizer, is working more to stabilize the muscles like your supraspinatus and infraspinatus muscles. But the tricep is getting a workout, and it's constant tension on the tricep. Since I have hurt myself when I had the squat accident, doing movements like this, especially on this left side, which is why I'm doing physical therapy right now, really target that weakened area when I had hurt myself. And I realized real quick, doing movements like this where a cable really hit that area. So now I'm doing a double overhead, you know, cable tricep extension. And the goal is here to get just some blood in the area. I'm not really worried about slowing the weight down, just mainly getting blood in the area and really just stretching out those muscles. Once again, it's an overreaching training session. So I'm not really going heavy. It's more about volume to me. And I mean, man, I get a good workout. Tricep got a good workout. The upper back got a good workout. So, you know, do some overhead extensions. They're very good, especially for triceps and doing some stabilizing work. Same thing, single arm, nothing too crazy. And once again, my camera is angled up. So that's why things might look a little wonky. So I don't have a camera crew with me. And normally when I do film, it's a little tripod. Matter of fact, I can show you. This is my little tripod that I use. Not this though. I have another little phone carrier that goes in there that the phone sit in. But this is what I use when I go filming. So I have to angle stuff up when I do my training. So now doing some single tricep pull downs, and you can see my tricep really working. You can see the tricep. And yes, I got the volume down because music, I don't want to get copyright struck. I'm just not seeing that. I should have been moving my mouse out the way. Apologize about that, guys. So you can see my triceps working. Very lightweight, just pumping blood into the muscle. Pumping blood into the muscle is what you want. Same thing on this side here. Make this bigger for you guys as well. And just look at the tricep work. Just pump it up. Pump it up, man. Keep a certain tempo, nice and slow. Just not those two. I got the same outfit on. Nah, got the same fucking outfit on. Now, Jeff Nipper made a video about standing back and getting the tricep behind, and that does work. I just didn't film it, but it does work. Side lateral raises. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you on the side lateral raises. The front delt gets a lot of work, so you want to train the side and the rear delts for that 3D look, right? You can kind of see my me do this here. You can actually kind of see my shoulders, how they kind of round. The reason why they got that round effect is doing side lateral raises. So when you train your delts, shoulder pressing trains that as well. But if you want real big shoulders, side lateral raises will give you a 3D look. That and doing face pull, anything that requires you to do a row will work the rear delt, which is this delt right here. And you'll see my delt in a minute, but you can kind of see how it runs around. Okay, so do that. Stop doing front raises for your front delts. The front delts get a lot of indirect work from any press and movement that requires you to do this here. And a lot of times they get overdeveloped. That's why you see big shoulders, small chest, because the delts will take over when you're pressing if you overwork the delts. I'm not saying that I don't do shoulder press work, and you will see me do shoulder press here in a minute. I do the around the worlds or the modified Arnolds, right? But that's only because I'm working. I want to keep my shoulder joints strong, but I'm not training them from strength. It's mainly just keep them strong, but I'm not trying to build them. I really do more side lateral and rear delt work than front delt work because, like I say, pressing trains the front delts indirectly. So if you are shoulder pressing a lot because you think shoulder pressing is going to build your whole shoulder, it's not. It's going to really build a front delt. Even if you press right in the sagittal plane. A lot of people try to press like this here shoulder press, and they find that they have shoulder impression problems. Bring your elbows in a little bit and press in the sagittal plane. Well, when you do that, you're going to put some more emphasis on the front delt. That's the right way to press, but more of the emphasis is going to go on the front delt. So that's why you want to train your side delts and your rear delts. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing seated because I want to focus more on my delts than standing and doing core work, because I'm going to do indirect core work. Well, I'm going to do direct core work. Now I'm just pumping up the arms at just 5 pounds. I'm pumping up the arms because I'm going to curl some heavy weight here in a set. So just taking my time, getting blood into the muscle, nothing too crazy. First set, 60 pounds, and notice I'm going to go up, and I'm slowing down the weight on the eccentric. I'm being explosive on the concentric, but slowing the weight down the eccentric. Some guys can't even lift 60 pounds. It was a good little pump, but I'm not done that. I'm not done yet. I'm going to increase the weight a little bit more. Another set of 60 pounds. Nothing crazy. And the weight felt really, really good. Didn't have to try that hard at all to get the weight up. Once again, it was nothing crazy at all. Really targeting the muscles. Just taking my time. Get everything I can out. Boom. Drop the weight. Now we move up a little bit more to some big boy weight. In my opinion, is getting their big boy weight. Nothing crazy. We'll do 80 pounds. Same thing. Slowing down the eccentric. Exploding the concentric. It felt really good. First time in a while that I curl 80 pounds. And you notice I'm not letting the weights sway me forward or back. I'm really trying to keep my body straight and locked in. And just put the biceps through a grueling session. Try to also strengthen them to build them up a little bit, make it a little bit stronger. I used to be able to curl over 100 pounds back when I was over 200 pounds. Doing this session here, I was at 175. So I believe I could probably still curl 100 for a single. It's been a while since I tried, but I'll probably try in a very near future. So now I'm sitting down just doing curls. I think those are 20-pound dumbbells or 15-pound dumbbells, one or two. Just doing some single curls. There we go. One arm at a time now. Because the biceps are fried from just that session right there. Doing 2 sets, 60 pounds. I think I did 10 reps. Then doing another 10 reps with 2 sets of 5 with 80 pounds. It's going to deplete the biceps. Biceps are small muscle. It don't take a lot to deplete them. So you want to just stimulate them. You don't want to overwork them. You want to stimulate them. The triceps have 3 different muscle groups, 3 different heads or whatever, 2 heads and the horseshoe look. So you can get away with doing more work with the triceps. Biceps don't take a lot. Now I'm doing the hammer curls to work the outside of the bicep, or the bicep brachialis muscle. It's the muscle here on the side right here that gives it, you can see it right there, that muscle right here, that gives the bicep that peak. The brachialis muscle right here. That muscle is what you do when we work the hammer curls. It gives the bicep that nice peak. So a lot of people overlook that muscle. There we go. I'm just really trying to work that outside of bicep. Dive right back into it. Sometimes lateral raises again. Once again, trying to fry those delts. And you can see those striations in my chest. Chest was pumped. And like I say, I have gained a little bit of weight. I lost some since then, but like I said, that was because I ate junk on the road, mainly a lot of water and fat I had picked up. But like I said, I'm rectifying that now around the world. All the modified honor presses. So that feel real good. And doing that around, like bringing them in, abducting them in and going back, man, it really focused on the upper back and the pecs. Because once again, think about it. Let's think about this here. Think about what you're looking at. When you see me come in, right? Once again, I'm up like this here. I'm coming down and I'm coming in. The chest have to work to abduct these muscles in. And then when I go back out, the upper back has to work to abduct. The chest is working too, but the back is, you're abducting here, but you're adducting here. So you're coming away from midline here, and then you're going towards midline doing this here. So this muscle, when you come in this way, is the antagonist. Well, the antagonist and agonist. The agonist is the main muscle. This is the antagonist. And then when you go back out and go up, this become the antagonist, and this become the agonist, or the main muscle that's working. Now they're stabilizers because you're really working the shoulders, right? But that just goes to show you that just doing a movement, going up and then coming down, you're working multiple muscles, right? But the shoulders themselves is the primary movers, but the chest and the upper back are the secondary or stabilizer muscles, and they intertwine with becoming the agonist and the antagonist, muscles that are acting as stabilizer muscles. So it's a full workout of this upper shelf doing those presses. And if you're moderately strong, then you can get away with doing some heavy weight. But once again, for me, it was all about volume, so nothing too crazy. I have did up to 35 to 40 pounds pressing this up. So I think, matter of fact, I think right here I jumped up to the 35-pound dumbbells, coming down, going in, and just taking my time and really just focusing on the movement itself, trying to do everything right. It's challenging because you don't really know what could go wrong with a movement like that. Because think about your shoulders. If your shoulders aren't stable, you can damage your shoulders. So there's a lot that goes through with this exercise. That's why you don't want to do it too heavy, but you do want to pick a weight that's challenging, because once again, having healthy shoulders, a healthy upper shelf is good for a lot of other reasons and they activities. So that's why I love doing these. I call them pressing around the world, but they're modified honor presses. Nothing too crazy at all. And I think this is my last set right here. And you can tell I'm getting fatigued. And I'm not even done. I got some leg stuff covered up. So yeah, it was an overreaching training session. You can see I'm digging deep, I'm pushing. And it's all about volume. Notice where my elbows are at. They're not so much when I press up, they don't start out in the front of plane. They're sagittal, but they're end up in the front of plane. It's all about moving the weight. Now, did I do one more set? Oh, no, yes, shrugs. Now we're doing some shrugs. Just 50-pound dumbbells. Nothing crazy. Get some shrugs in for the traps. And if you want to know, was I sore for a few days after this, you goddamn right. I was fucking sore as shit. But it was worth it. It was worth it. Now, once again, I know it looks funny doing these bent over lateral raises, but it's just the way my camera is. But I do have the tendency, instead of going straight out to the side, and I know it looks hard, right? Like this here. I do like my elbows a little bit slightly back because I feel more my rear delts more than when I come up to the side and go just like this here. And it's a lot harder to do that sometimes, especially when you got people on side you. So I tend to kind of go back up and at an angle. A lot of people don't have that type of mobility, so I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Eventually, and I'm gonna show you what I mean. I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. So you can probably see, right? When you do bent over lateral raises, right? The goal is to keep your arms out in front and come like this here, right? For me, I like to go back just a little bit and do it because, man, I feel more of my rear delts. But once the rear delts start to fail, and you know, because it's meant for the rear delts and the upper back, because you bent over, so you're putting, you know, the exercise off the side delts up to the back. However, the side delts are getting work as well as the front delts. And then the more you bring your arms a little bit closer parallel, right, like you're doing a sit lateral raise, and you just bend over, yes, you're still gonna get some of that upper back, but it port that the majority of that load to more of the side delt as well, even though it's meant for the upper back. So for me, a lot of people don't have that mobility. You got to do what's comfortable for you. Either or is going to work the upper back and rear delt. It's just, if you want your arm to go straight out on the side, bent over, you're still going to get a lot more of your side delt than the rear delt and upper back. Still going to target the rear delt and upper back, but not as much. If you're able to bend your elbows back a little bit and then kind of take it back and up, you know, like that, then you're going to incorporate more of the rear delt and more of the back because of the way you're angling your arm. If you go from the side like this here, if I can just tuck my elbows and bring it back and then do that, you're gonna see more. So that's why you see me coming up and back when I do that. I'm up and I'm going like back. I'm sweeping backwards a little bit. Some people can do it, some people can't. It's all about your mobility. So that's why you see me doing it like that. But eventually the rear delts is gonna fail and the back's gonna get tired. So then I'm going to kind of bring my arms a little bit more forward and do it the traditional way. You see how my delts are just full of blood. And they're full of blood, man. Dumbbells will beat your ass if you know how to utilize them. They will beat your ass, man. All right, we're doing some more shrugs. Build those traps up. There we go. And sorry about the camera. It's at an angle. Like I say, it's hard sometimes to get this goddamn thing to stay neutral. But that's what happens when you record your own stuff. It's one of those things where, you know, you do what you can. So cameras have a slight angle. So apologize about that. I can look at the video and tell things are a little bit of an angle. Now, the legs. I love this unilateral leg extension machine. It is awesome. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I did a lot of volume over here. So what I ended up doing, and I'm almost done. What I ended up doing is pretty much leading a lot of the stuff that I did. I did a lot of volume over here. Like my legs was fucking swollen. Pumped the blood. So this part is drastically edited down. I think I'm only gonna have like 2 sets or 3 sets in here. It was like 8 or 9 sets. And I'm like, I'm not gonna bore you guys. Same with some of the pressing that I was doing. It was a lot more to that. But I didn't want to drag this video out too long. So you're gonna see it's gonna be a brief moment of time that I'm over here. But I assure you, I did a lot of sets over here. I had other leg stuff to do, and then I ended up doing cardio after the fact. So I didn't want to fry my legs too much, but I did do a lot of volume. But like I said, I'm not trying to make this video a 2 or 3 hour long video. So The weight was moderately heavy. I think I did a 75 pounds for the top set. Like I say, it's all about getting blood. I wasn't really trying to go extremely heavy. Even though I could getting better with it, I can almost do 100 per leg for 4 or 5 reps. Months ago, I couldn't even get past 80. You'd be surprised how weak your quads are individually when you have a machine like this versus doing the normal leg extension machine or the normal leg press where your strong leg is taking over everything. So I'm putting more emphasis on my left leg because it's the smaller of the two. This will help you overcome plateaus in the squat and everything because you're building the weaker side. And I love machines like this because the weak side have to work hard. And you'll find out real quick just how strong you really is when you do stuff like this here. I'm going with the motion. Once again, it's about volume. I'm keeping a certain tempo. And I probably could slow down a little bit more, but the goal was just to pump them up for the blood, keep a certain tempo. Try to get as many reps as possible. If I would have slowed it down, I probably would have cut those reps in half. But it's more for me of an endurance fiber. So I'm doing some type 2, type 1 hybrid training. Type 1, if I recall, being the endurance fiber, type 2 being the fast twitch, the explosive fibers. So now I'm doing leg curls for the hamstrings. And once again, it's all about getting volume. It's volume, 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 volume. And you know, a lot of people want to go through the motions. They don't take their time. They sit there and just let the weight just rattle up and down. It's all about volume, 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 volume. And you can see I'm keeping a certain tempo. I'm keeping the same tempo. I'm not just letting the weight drop back up. I'm contracting it down, letting it go back up, you know. So it's one of those things where the tempo is about the same in either direction. And you can see me really, you know, trying my best to eke out every rep I can. The facial expressions I kind of tell you when I'm getting near failure. And I can't say my hamstrings aren't getting stronger. I think right now I'm doing 105 pounds over there. And you can see, like, you can look at my triceps, how they were shaking. Like, it gets serious out there. Now I'm doing single leg. Now I'm mainly going to do the left leg. Once again, my left leg is weaker than my right leg. So you want to give that left side or your weak side more love than your dominant side. Even though you see me doing my dominant side, I'm going to go back to the left side here in a second. And you want to do that. There you go. Unilaterally work the weak side. Always give the weak side more love than the strong side. It will thank you. It will love you. There we go. I lowered the weight a little bit. We're going to do one more set. And for full disclosure, even though I stopped filming, I did the abductor machine. I also did the glute raise machine, and I ended with cardio. But once again, I didn't want to film all that because the gym was starting to get packed. And I'm one of those people that, you know, when the gym starts getting packed, I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable with filming. So I tend to film when it's not that busy. And when it gets busy, I tend to turn my camera off and focus on what I'm trying to do and not trying to piss off people. So there you have it. That was overreaching training. And it's more of a nervous system driver. However, it will build muscle because it's volume. You're doing sets and reps with lightweight. You're really working on the muscle versus you working on strength. At no point in this video was I'm doing weight heavy enough to tax me on strength training besides the 80-pound curls. Everything else was well within my range of capability. And that's, you know, when you're trying to build muscle versus, you know, trying to train for strength. Strength training is more low rep training, which is something that I'm doing every time I do compound lifts. That's for me strength training. So I pick a weight that I can do between 5 and maybe 8 times. Once I can do that weight by 10 times, it's time to increase the weight when it comes to strength training. Because it's going to be heavy weight starting out. The nervous system is going to take a hit because it has to produce more adrenaline, more fight, flight, or freeze. That comes into play. That stimulates the nervous system more. So recovery takes longer. There are more muscles being worked, more joints being involved, more ligament tendons being involved. That's why you have to be very careful with doing compound lifts, because the risk and reward of that training, the risk to reward ratio, can come at a cost. So with that being said, guys, hope you all enjoy. I got to get to my next 2 videos and call it a day. But that is the end of my last training block. I have already started the new training block, and those videos, like I say, have already been recorded. I got a deadlift session tomorrow, and then they'll be uploaded here next week. And what I'm going to start doing, instead of doing 3 videos, I'm going to condense them all into 1. So I'm going to train for the whole week, and then we're going to put all the training exercises together in 1 video. And then I can go through the whole week without having to make 3 different videos. Give you guys a spiel on everything that I'm going to do. The problem with that is, though, you're not going to see every exercise in the videos with all these sets. You might see me just show 1 or 2 sets per exercise. That's to make the video condense so it won't be too overly long, like with what I did today. That training session was 2.5 hours long. So, and you might say that's overtraining. It's overreaching. I don't. If you train like that every day, that's overtraining, which is something that I used to do. It's not recommended that you do that. But that was a overreaching session. So that was a session, and it was meant to stimulate the nervous system a lot more to help produce growth and to be able for me to push harder, when I go back to compound lift like what I'm doing now. So hope you guys enjoyed. Being your boy, Savar Matner. I am out, guys. Peace.